Good day everyone, we are everyone and today we will be recording about the dry cell battery. We will be tackling about its components, we will be identifying its parts and its purposes, and its construction and how it works. So please lend us your comprehension, for we will be asking questions after this recording.
Dry cell battery is a device made of one or more electrochemical cells that convert stored chemical energy into electrical energy. It contains electrolyte that is contained within a paste or other moist medium. Dry cell is usually used like some flashlights, radio, and some toys and remotes. These are the parts of dry cell battery. First is brass cap used to cover carbon rod. Insulating coating is used to cover the whole battery. Zinc anode or the negative electrode. The anode in a dry cell is usually made of zinc. It forms the outer casing of the battery and acts as the source of electrons during the discharge process. Electrolyte or ammonium chloride. The electrolyte is a paste composed of ammonium chloride. It facilitates the flow of ions between the anode and cathode. This is manganese dioxide paste. Manganese dioxide paste increases the conductivity and efficiency of the cathode. The last one is the cathode or graphite rod. The cathode is typically a carbon rod or graphite which is surrounded by a mixture of manganese dioxide. This forms the internal positive electrode where reduction occurs.
So let's proceed to the description of the construction of the dry cell battery. So what is a dry cell battery? So as mentioned a while ago, a dry cell battery is a type of electrochemical cell that generates electricity through chemical reactions. Its construction is simple and compact, making it ideal for portable devices such as remotes and other examples that was stated a while ago. So the main components and construction of dry cell battery is the outer casing or this zinc anode. Zinc anode is considered as the outer casing which serves as the anode or the negative terminal and provides the battery's mechanical structure. So zinc anode is made of zinc, which is, makita na nato sa yung pangalan na zinc anode. So made of zinc, which participates in the electrochemical reaction. So next is the cathode. So the cathode or the manganese dioxide paste, this one is the mixture of manganese dioxide and conductive carbon powder, which is coats the inside wall of the zinc can and acts as the positive terminal. Next is this electrolyte paste. This is made of ammonium chloride or zinc chloride mixed into moist paste. This facilitates a unique movement between the anode and cathode. So this one, the electrolyte ammonium chloride facilitates the movement between the anode and the cathode. The next is the separator, this one. Separator is a porous, non-conductive material, often made of paper. Then the purpose of this is to prevent direct contact between the zinc can and the cathode material to avoid short-circuiting. So, ang purpose ng separator is para mo-avoid o ganang mabuto bitaw ang battery, ganang mag-short circuit. So the next one is the carbon rod.
Carbon rod. It is positioned at the center of the cell made of graphite. So it collects the electrons from the cathode and transfers them to the external circuit. Next is the cardboard washer. So this is the cardboard washer. This is when it rotates. So it circulates space of the cardboard that plays at the top and the bottom of the cell. So it provides the insulation and prevents the short circuit at the ends of the battery. It adds the structural stability and hold the internal components in place. It acts as the buffer to protect against physical impacts or external pressure. Next is the sealing cap and the insulation. So this two. So it is the metal cup serve as the battery positive terminal. So this one. So it insulates also. Insulator and washer ensures the cell is sealed to prevent electrolyte decay and external contamination. So the cardboard washer don't participate in chemical reaction but plays an essential role in ensuring the battery's durability and safety. They help maintain the alignment and installation of the internal components, contributing a reliable performance of the battery. By adding cardboard washer, the dry cell became more robust, especially in an application where physical stability and insulation are critical. So an overview of how the battery cells work. So the zinc or the anode undergoes oxidation, releasing the electrons. The electrons travel through the external circuit, powering the device. At the cathode or the manganese dioxide undergoes a reduction reaction by accepting the electrons. The electrolyte enables the transfer of ions within the cell, completing the reaction cycle. This design ensures efficient energy production while being safe and portable, making the dry cell one of the most common battery types. So this design is compact and portable and commonly found in batteries like AA and AAA cells.
So now that we have identified the components of a dry cell battery, we will now proceed to the description of how it works. So the first thing you need to know is that a dry cell battery is inserted into an external circuit. As you have remembered in flashlights or remote controls or radios, the external circuit looks like this. So if this is the dry cell battery, this is the brass tap, the positive one, and this is the negative pole. In the negative pole, there is a metal that looks just like a brass tap, and the brass tap is inserted in the metal that was flat. So that was the external circuit. Now in that external circuit, in this external circuit happens the chemical reactions that was needed for the battery to release energy. So this should look like this. So you can visualize, this looks like this. The electrons flows from here to here, flows from the negative pole to the positive pole. Since in the negative pole, the external circuit is connected in the zinc anode. In the zinc anode, the process of oxidation occurs. The zinc anode loses electrons, and the electrons travel from the zinc anode into the graphite rod or the carbon cathode. Over time, the zinc anode, as it is oxidized, as it releases more electrons, it is consumed. And when the time comes that the zinc anode is totally all consumed, that is when the time you can call the battery is dead. The half reaction that occurs in the zinc anode is zinc ion is the reactant, and the product is zinc 2 plus 2 electrons. So as you can see, this is an oxidation half reaction. Now, as the electrons in the zinc anode goes from the zinc anode up to the graphite rod, the manganese dioxide is altered. Now, the electrons traveling from the zinc anode into the graphite rod alters the manganese dioxide. At the cathode, the carbon rod, the electrons react with the manganese dioxide and ammonium ions from the electrolyte, reducing the manganese dioxide. So this manganese dioxide, as the redox reactions occurs within the cell, the manganese dioxide is reducing. So the reaction for manganese dioxide from the redox reaction is so this is the reaction that is occurring in the manganese dioxide and in the electrolyte ammonium chloride as a result of that redox reaction. So now you may be thinking that all the ions in the anode as it goes in the cathode, what will happen to them? So inside the battery, the zinc ions from here, that is now in here, moves through the electrolytes, moves through here toward the cathode, maintaining the charge balance. To have a recap of it all, of how it works, you can simply visualize it like this. So this is the anode, and this is the cathode. As the cell is inserted in the circuit, the electrons from the anode undergoes oxidation. The electrons from the anode goes from the anode into the cathode. So that just simply looks like that. Over time, as the anode loses electrons, it is consumed rather. And as it is consumed, the manganese dioxide within the cathode or alongside the cathode is also just get exhausted. So as the anode is consumed and as the manganese dioxide gets exhausted, the battery is now approaching to its end. So that's how a tri-cell battery works. Once again, this is the group 1 and this is a report on the tri-cell battery's components, its construction and how it works. Thank you, and we hope that you have learned in this tutorial.